Hey, how you doing? Welcome back, Mortgage Musketeers. Today, got an awesome episode about veterans. We're going to be talking about the Blue Water Navy Vietnam Veterans Act of 2019. Who does it cover? What does it do? How does it impact the fees? How does it impact loan limits? There's a lot of exciting stuff in this act, and I'm going to break it down real quick after the intro. Okay, so what this act does is it gives benefits to sailors and those folks in the Coast Guard who were off the coast of Vietnam, weren't necessarily on the land or in the waterways where the fight has given those folks some benefits for Agent Orange. Well, now it's extended them to the sailors in the Coast Guard, folks that were off the coast in the blue water, if you will. So that's a great deal for our veterans. So kudos to all the veterans organizations who have fought and won this fight. Fantastic. Now, the other things that it has done is it has actually raised the loan fees. So I'm going to post that up here. And when I say the loan fees, I mean the guaranteed funding fee. So what that is when you have a zero down loan with VA, there's typically a funding fee that guarantees a loan. And for a first-time user, that's 2.15% of the loan amount. For subsequent users, in other words, if you bought a house with a VA loan and then sold the house, then you're going to use that benefit again. It's 3.3% of the loan amount. So, for instance, on a $250,000 house, 2.15%, the first-time use would be about $5,375, and that would be rolled into the loan, so that it's not out of pocket. It's amortized over 30 years. If it was a subsequent use, it'd be 3.3%, which is about $8,250. So you can see how a little bit more for subsequent use, but again, it's rolled into the loan, and it's still no money down. Okay. Well, the increases, and again, the chart, you can see everything that's going on. They're going to increase it first time use from 2.15 to 2.30. And that 2.30 would equate to about $5,750 on a $250,000 house. And on a subsequent use, it's going from 3.3 to 3.6%. And that would be about $9,000 on a $250,000 home. All right. The other cool thing, though, about that is they're going to eliminate the differences between the National Guard, the Reserve, and the active duty. It used to be National Guard and Reservists would end up paying more for their funding fee. Okay, and now they've reduced that, so it's the same for both active duty, Reserve, National Guard, across the board. It's the same. So that's pretty cool. Now, they have also eliminated the loan limits, which is amazing. All right, so first of all, the previous VA benefits for jumbo loans were pretty fantastic. So there are conforming loan limits. The highest amount of a loan that you can get is $484,350 before it becomes jumbo. Now, typically jumbo loans, especially conventional, require 20% down. Okay, and that can be pretty significant. With a VA, you didn't have to pay 20% down. It was a good deal. So basically, you would take whatever the sales price was, subtract the conforming loan limit, and then take 25% of the remainder, and that would be your down payment. So the VA has eliminated that little formula. So you don't have the conforming loan limit anymore. It's just a VA loan. They're going to guarantee, it's amazing. It's a fantastic deal for veterans. So I know that seems like a lot of money, but for those that are buying homes in that previously jumbo category, it's going to save a ton of, it's going to be fantastic. Okay, save a lot of down payment money. All right, now, as usual, the VA funding fee is waived if you've got 10% disability or more. Okay, so that is great for the VA benefits for those who are retired or no longer on active duty service. The issue is we have a lot of veterans who have gotten injured in the line of duty, and they still have to pay the full funding fee because they haven't retired or been medically retired or gotten out of the military. Well, now, Purple Heart recipients are also going to be able to waive that funding fee. So a true zero down loan. That's awesome. Okay, so remember, if you have 10% disability or more, no funding fee. And now, if you're active duty and have a Purple Heart, no more funding fee. I mean, that's huge. That's great. And one of the last things that this act does is it allows appraisers to use third-party entities to do some of the work for them, some of the data or whatever. And in places where there's high concentration of military folks, there's only a certain amount of VA appraisals, and the appraisals can get bogged down. Well, this should speed up the appraisal process so that veterans aren't waiting as long to get in homes. So just a lot of really, really positive items on this. If you have any questions about it, leave a comment below. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. I am a VA loan specialist. And if you liked what you heard, please like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. It's all for one and one for all.